And that's the other thing. You could teach yourself before you even step into the classroom. Yeah. Imagine if we had a classroom full of people that their entrance requirement was to have watched all these videos and to have started...
Yeah, like once they finished it,
And everybody starts off, with the ball rolling instead of, this is what a tooth looks like, right? It's like, but, I mean, things like that, right? Mm-hmm. Smart ways of thinking outside the box. What's a problem? What's a solution that we can?
Taking advantage of the new technology we have,
right?
To make things like that. That's one of the things Pearson's been spearheading the crap out of lately, or for years actually. It's all his university lectures of the past 4 years are all on YouTube, full.
It's true, and that's actually, I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, it's great, and he's trying to figure out a way to develop some sort of online accreditation program or process for getting that thing together.
Government supported.
Yeah.
See, that is the
but he's the person that's getting the package together. Hey, government, this
exactly
is what it is.
Right.
And then it'd be like, okay, cool. But the government, I mean, they're already dealing with so much shit. I would put a mess that would be the politician. But
our government, do we even want to start talking about that?
Yeah. Well.
Well, I'm actually kind of loving watching the train wreck that is Trudeau right at this moment, because he fucking earned it.
Yeah.
Did he ever, man?
Earned it. I voted for the guy.
I voted for him too.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just I hate Stephen Harper. So I get
that was basically it.
And I think that's that's the reason why, like you were saying earlier, fucking total political reform or a center party, anything, just any kind of some measure to shake it up a little bit, because we're at a point now where three left-leaning dudes, three liberal guys, or whatever, in a classic sense or whatever,
since called Nazi on a radio.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So we're at a point where we can't vote for the party that on paper should represent our interests, because they're doing an awful job.
Yeah.
Provincially for us and federally.
Yep.
And,
fuck, Ontario's a mess. Holy hell, Ontario's going to become fucking Mad Max pretty soon. It's going to be tumbleweeds.
Yeah, we can't vote for the NDP because they're more or less in varying degrees probably going to do the same sorts of stupid things as the Liberals right now. I don't really feel like voting for Elizabeth May or the Green Party because she thinks 9/11 was an inside job, and that's kind of petty. But at the same time, it is a
reflection of your character a little bit. If you're capable of thinking something like that.
That's what she was like. It's if we get even a minority government or whatever in the House or whatever, I'm going to demand that the CIA or U.S. whatever the fuck.
We got more important shit to do, lady.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And in the event that the Liberals backpedal and actually do make proportional election voting a thing, which is really funny. They got a taste of a majority government, right? And they're just they don't. Never mind.
Yeah, it's pretty comfy.
Yeah,
not gonna be for long, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
Anyway, but if that ever happens, maybe I would consider voting Green. But at the same time,
the right individuals, I'm kind of getting to a point where it's I don't hold any solidarity to any party.
That's what I'm saying.
Individual person.
That's what I'm saying. It sucks, but I'm literally at a point where oh wow, I guess I'm gonna have to vote conservative if I want to see Trudeau gone, and that's it's shitty.
It's basically just keeping the balance of shitty.
Yeah,
we go shitty too far right, and then shitty. The reason I voted against Harper was a couple things. First of all, this is actually a vote for Trudeau. The pot thing. Fuck, it's time we legalize the shit. And it's not even on the sense of being a pothead wanting pot, man. It's not about that. If I want a pot, if anyone wants pot, it's easy.
It's the fact that something that is a million times more damaging has already been legal for so long.
Yeah, and the fact that we waste shit tons of money, just absolutely ridiculous amounts of money on its prohibition that could be used to, I don't know, make a video series of all the university courses and give it to the masses. Right? I mean, that seems like money well spent. So there was that, but Harper's security. What was that bill? Was it 51?
Bill C-51 or something?
It was 51. Yeah, C-51.
The online
that
shit
was spooky. That was spooky authoritarian. Here's I'm not comfortable with the government like getting that much power over my ability to assemble and have free speech and shit like that.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main reasons I voted against him. And now we've got
the same thing on the left,
but for identity politics issues. And as a little side note, how did they think that bringing back enemy combatants was not going to be anything but a complete fucking train wreck? How, like,
I
what?
don't know, man. It's like,
how do you get to the point?
Any personality trait gone to its fullest extent, extreme, is obviously not a good idea. I think we have all of these different ways of looking at things. Like, we've evolved them at a sheer utility. Like, nature wouldn't have let us get away with it.
Yeah.
Even compassion can be taken too far. And it's like,
well, because
like, at what point do you gotta lay down your foot and say, fuck, man, like,
here's the thing.
People just went off and...
Compassion is always going to be at the detriment of somebody else. In a certain respect, okay. Look, you only have so much compassion that you can give out. You're one person. You've only got so much energy, so much time. You can only do so much. Well,
that's what I'm saying. It's like the typical scapegoaty kind of like, oh, don't you feel bad for the fucking the starving or dying in X country or Y country? And it's like, well, as a sane and rational human being, of course. But like, if I was to actually try to empathize with like every single suffering person's plight, no one would be able to do anything. Nothing would get done.
Everyone would be crying all day.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone would be dickered.
Yeah.
Like, society wouldn't function because, like,
all your energy would be wasted, and you could be spending that time trying to come up with creative, imaginative solutions
to the problems.
That's one thing I never hear come out of a social justice warrior's mouth.
Yeah.
They always go on about the problems. This is a problem. That is a problem. Everything's a fucking problem.
It's problematic.
Yeah, that's the one. But they never offer solutions that at least don't involve
absolute social reform
or restricting people's personal freedoms.
Yeah. They want to like they're going about it the opposite way, getting the government to impose how we should be speaking and stuff. It's like, that's not how people naturally interact.
No.
And like, a government should be a reflection of how we go about our business together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it turns into a tyrannical force.
That's true. And here's the thing: we don't need the government to interject. If our society has shown us anything, in Western countries, we have been on a steady course and a steady, consistent track to decency and human respect and not fucking with people and not being a dick. Everything, if you just leave society on to go, because the main thing is most people don't want to be assholes. Most people, it becomes a liability when you are.
Right? Well, look at this. We've never met before in person until today.
It's true.
You're invited us into your house, two complete strangers, more or less, and we're sitting here at your table having a conversation, and you haven't tried to kill me or anything yet. Like, it's going pretty all right.
Not yet. I got the kitchen knife right over there.
Yeah, and I recently, my roommate and I just had we had a roommate crisis, and we needed a third person to move in, and we had one lined up. She bailed a couple days before. Scheduled another viewing, complete stranger answering the ad on Kijiji, whatever, comes in, checks the place out, dog pees on the floor, everything's good. She says she's gonna take the place, and we're like, sweet, awesome. And then she moves in, and now a complete stranger is moved in and is living with us.
Yeah,
where else in the world would you be able to just invite a stranger in and have them live, and we trust each other and function together? And
we're astonishingly civilized. Our society at this, like, it actually boggles my mind.
Yeah, it should.
how actually really civilized we are, and we got to this. Here's the thing: there's no hate speech laws in America, as far as I'm aware. I mean, other than you can't make threats, you can't threaten to kill people. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of absolute freedom of speech, there isn't really that. And all that has happened in terms of the language change and the cultural change that has happened in the United States Like, Michael Richards goes on stage and screams nigger at someone, and he was absolutely, like, his career was destroyed.
Yeah.
He's a fucking pariah.
Yeah.
And that happened on its own.
Yeah.
Right? There was no government intervention. It was just society basically being like, oh shit, it's kind of a horrible thing to call people that. So when people call people that,
Imagine.
we're just gonna like imagine. Right?
Maybe it's reasonable that we all stop calling people that.
Right?
Like,
so, I mean, we
yeah.
don't need the... And here's the solution. Yeah. The solution to the whole pronoun thing, first of all, let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
Second of all, pick one pronoun.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's utilitarian to us. He, she, that has a utilitarian purpose. You say he, I know it's a male. You say she, I know it's a female. If you want to come up with another thing, I don't need to know the exact specifics of your thing. I just need to know that you don't want to be called male or female. Yeah. Sure. Third thing is, start using it consistently within your own community.
Yeah.
Why is the rest of society supposed to be expected to remember a limitless number of pronouns, because apparently you can just make them up on the spot?
Oh, yeah.
Why should people be expected to remember this when there's no consistency within your own community amongst, what you to call each other, right?
It's hard to even call it a community.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And, of course, in, typical... as the power, they're starting to cannibalize each other, and we've seen this start happening because you can keep subdividing every group up into another different group, and
Yeah, in a million different ways.
and then once this group gets all together, and they're gonna, and they've already got it in their heads that we're a different group, we have to act as a group against the rest of everybody. Then it's only a matter of time before they're going to split down the center among some other characteristics, and they're going to start going at each other.
That's the problem with intersectionality that they already address.
Yeah.
And it's like, the logical conclusion of that is that
Everyone's going to cannibalize each other.
there's no minority smaller than the individual.
Yeah.
And that's like the main principle of our cultures. Like the American dreams, like you come here, you get to pursue your individual pursuit in life, have a family, do whatever it is that tickles your fancy, and you have the freedom to do that, and we'll even let you have guns so that you can kill the government if they decide to stop you from doing that or something.
Yep.
And so...
Holler.
Which is incidentally the whole point of an armed society.
Yeah.
It goes back to the fucking Old West, Like it was the new frontier. Unfortunately, there were some nasty side effects of like Manifest Destiny and that kind of like borderline egotistical entitlement. However, it was almost fully required because it was a damn big area. You couldn't, a lot of the time it'd be like, well, I'm going to town for the next 5 weeks because it would take you 2 weeks to get there and 2 weeks to get back, and you'd spend a week there or whatever, and you know what I mean? Everything was just on a bigger, more spread out scale.
Yeah, and it's like, I
gotta protect myself. Yeah.
Here's an interesting thought for you. I mean, maybe the fact, and I'm not saying this is, but what if one of the reasons why we have become as polite and civilized as we are is because for so many decades you always had it in the back of your mind that if you just flip off on some guy that didn't deserve it for no good fucking reason, he might shoot you.
Yeah.
That's kind of
the case.
That's how it is in Texas right now, I'm sure.
Well, it's like, I was in a ayahuasca ceremony, and one of the things the shaman said was that like something akin to like fear and respect are hardly different things. So you respect a grizzly bear because it might shred you to bits. And you respect another adult human being because, well, it's like, this is why I find it crazy when people go out to the bars to get into fights and stuff. It's like, what if that guy is crazy and he pulls out a knife and stabs you? It's like, you're just going to take that chance? You don't know what this person's capable of.
Yep.
And it's like, should everyone just walk around in fear all the time?
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, actually. There's some reason.
There's a level of fear that you should have that keeps you in check from doing something.
And it's respect.
Everyone's complaining about being, complaining about how awful and scary strong men are, but, weak men are worse.
That was the line out of Pearson's book.
Yeah.
He's like, if you think strong men are dangerous. Wait till you see what weak men are capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like weak men that don't have their shit together. That's the ones you gotta be afraid of.
Oh, yeah. Like, a fucking